figured, hi, this is Mark. Attention, do you or someone you know suffer from sleep apnea? Because I do. I just thought I would tell you guys what I've been doing for the last, 5 years or so. So if we look closely here, let's see if we can get a good shadow going. See this little, lump right there? That is a rechargeable battery. It connects to a hypoglossal nerve. You got two of them. They go right up there. This whole thing under here, this is your tongue muscle. I have obstructive sleep apnea. So most people have a mouth that's shaped like this. Mine is shaped like that. And at night, it would collapse and I would stop breathing. I would hold my breath for a long time. I would freak my wife out, actually, while I was doing it. Most people treat this with CPAP. I didn't want to sound like Darth Vader all the time when I slept. Plus, I don't actually tolerate the CPAP. I have to put my glasses on. Really bad getting old. I don't tolerate CPAP or BiPAP. It would fill my stomach with air for some reason. Don't know why. And I want to tell you why sleep apnea is something that's actually really dangerous and why you should deal with it. So I figured while I was hooking myself up for charging, have a little remote here, a little wire, there's a battery inside of this, and I gotta put this on. And then while I'm doing this, I'll tell you why. So, there are many good reasons why somebody should deal with sleep apnea, but first, what is sleep apnea? If you snore, if people complain about you snoring, chances are you've got sleep apnea. If you hold your breath at night when you snore, if you sleep, you have sleep apnea. There are two different kinds. So there's a central sleep apnea. This is part of your central nervous system. Usually there's something that's up inside the brain that doesn't send the breathe signal all the time on a regular basis, and so sometimes you just stop breathing. This device does not fix central sleep apnea. This is for obstructive sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea is when your tongue, your throat, your soft palate collapses and you stop breathing. Everybody, well, okay, maybe not. So if you get sick, lungs, COVID, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, and they put the little thing on your finger, and if you've got a blood oxygen level below 92, they start getting worried. If it gets much below that, they really get worried. So the stuff that Michael Jackson died from is called propofol, the milk of amnesia. They gave it to me under medical care, surgical table, and they gave it to me to see at what point my brain would kick in and say, oh, time to start breathing. My blood oxygen level got down to 75. This is a device called, I'm in a clinical trial, medical clinical trial, from a company called Imthera. There are two major brands out there. There's Inspire, there's Imthera. Inspire uses a battery that's implanted that's not rechargeable. It's supposed to last 8 to 10 years, something like that. Imthera has a rechargeable battery, so I do this little thing right here, and let's see, I'm going to have to adjust the contrast at some point when I learn more. But anyway, I got a remote. It charges this, and what it does, so I've got it's just a magnet. It's stuck to my chest right now. There's one little magnetic point it holds, and I'm recharging my battery. I can go 3 days without it, but then it takes a really long time to do it. So going back, there are two nerves inside of here. They're called the hypoglossal nerves. They control certain things inside your face, but more importantly, they control your tongue. So what this device does is I will set it when I go to sleep. You can change however many minutes it takes for you to go to sleep. You can pause it. You can do all sorts of things. When I go to sleep, this thing moves my tongue. It stimulates the hypoglossal nerve. Assume that your nerve is like this, and there's a clamp. It's got 6 different points that connect. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So there's 6 points. They connect onto the hypoglossal nerve, and at different points, it activates different things. If you want to feel really stupid, if you have the fear of public speaking, be sure and give a prayer at your mom's best friend's funeral when your tongue is paralyzed. Really good time, let me tell you. True story. It's taken a while for it to heal and everything. And again, I'm the first person in Indiana, relatively early in the entire nation, actually, to get this thing implanted. But I knew I had a problem. People that have sleep terrors, people that think they have been visited by aliens actually have been associated with sleep terrors, and it has to do with stopping breathing. Some of it. So, man, I've gone through probably 25 or 30 sleep studies. I got something to show you. I actually had this ready to go. Here's me. I did that one just for fun at a sleep study, but oh my goodness, I've had that done so many times to figure out how to do this. So it moves my tongue when I sleep and I breathe, and it makes a huge difference in so many things. The point of this is talking to you about sleep apnea, and I want to tell you why you should pay attention to it. First of all, if your blood oxygen level goes down to 75%, which is really extreme, admittedly, but if it goes down that low, or if you're snoring a lot, even if it goes to 80 a lot, it actually puts a lot of pressure on your cardiovascular system, your heart, your blood pressure, all of that. And if you're doing that every night, it's really bad for you. One of the things that they do when they do a sleep study is they measure how many times an hour you would hold your breath. The first time that I did it, I had 60 times that I was holding my breath. I was basically breathing 1 time a minute. I would breathe, it would collapse, and then I would go until my body said, hey, we got a problem, and then I would breathe again. And it's not healthy. So when you don't sleep well, and you're snoring all the time, and you're holding your breath all the time, it messes with your health, it messes with your weight, it messes with the way you feel, it messes with your mental health, it messes with so many different things. That's one reason to take care of it. The second reason is even more important. And there's new research that has come out, and it has to do with, of all things, Alzheimer's disease. So a lot of people know about Alzheimer's. It has to do with these plaques that are inside your brain, and scientists are trying to figure out how to deal with this and fix it. Well, what research is actually detecting is that when you sleep and you are sleeping properly, there's a delta wave cycle that happens. And it happens just every once in a while you're going. And what the delta wave, the cycle does, is it actually flushes, as far as I can tell, as far as I understand the science, it flushes your brain. It flushes the plaques out. If you're not sleeping well, those plaques will build up and build up because you don't have the delta wave flush that happens several times a night. That is a huge reason why you should deal with sleep apnea. If you're watching this and it's like, no big deal, I dealt with this for years. When I finally got this thing working, I think I was at 275 pounds, and I lost a decade of my life because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't function. It was horrible. My soft palate, I remember this, like 2003 one time, I was right in that state between sleep and being awake, and all of a sudden I felt the roof of my mouth just go boom, and I couldn't breathe, and I was in this weird state where I couldn't really fix it. So I knew there was a problem. I speak different languages. I didn't want to lose my soft palate. One of the things they want to do is they'll cut your soft palate out, which apparently is very painful, and I just didn't want to do that. I talked to dentists about trying to slice little holes or like lines in the top of my mouth, trying to make scar tissue so that it wouldn't collapse. I asked him if there was some type of a gauze or a mesh that you sometimes actually get for hernias. And I'm like, hey, can you guys surgically implant this into my mouth? And people looked at me like I was stupid, but I'm like, I know this would work. I don't tolerate CPAP or BiPAP. BiPAP is right here. CPAP covers your whole mouth. Luke, I'm your father. I just didn't want to be like that. So that's obstructive sleep apnea. If you have central sleep apnea, this will not work because the problem is actually between the brain and breathing. The first time that I took a sleep study, I had 60 obstructive events per hour. I also had 60 central events per hour. And so doctors, nurses, people that's supposed to know this stuff, they said, well, Mark, you're not going to be a candidate for this because you've got central sleep apnea and you have obstructive. I said, morons, I'm on all of this pain medicine. I have this leg is 5/8 of an inch shorter than this one. It's given me a little bit of scoliosis, lots of pain. I live with it every day. No biggie. But for a while, I was on really heavy-duty pain medicine. Part of the reason I got to 275. So I said, I'm depressing my central nervous system. That's where the central events are coming from. Do another study. I had to fight them on this. They did another study. I stayed off the medicine. Well, surprise, surprise. Mark, you don't have central sleep apnea. I know. So my point is, anything that depresses the central nervous system, which would be alcohol, which would be narcotics, morphine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, any of that stuff, those are central nervous system depressants. They don't depress you. It depresses your central nervous system so that it doesn't function as well. So if you have an apnea problem and you're not dealing with it with BiPAP or CPAP, Imthera, Inspire, then don't take those types of medicines. Don't drink that type of alcohol before you go to sleep because it'll just make your entire situation worse. I'm telling you this as somebody who used to be in sales and has done a lot of stupid things in their life. So please listen to me about this. Sleep is so important. Stupid, I know, but sleep is really important. There may be some people that don't know this. And I have all this information in my head, and it's just being wasted right now. So I want to share it. If you have any questions, if there's something I can answer for you, I'm not a doctor. I don't know everything, but I got a few ideas about a few things. So, and I'm willing to experiment. So I can tell you what not to do sometimes. So there you go. Sleep apnea, hypoglossal nerves, Imthera, and see, I'm. Let's see. It says charging implant right now. So, and believe me, I've gone through the ringer with these guys a couple of times, but it's a great device. Imthera has been responsive with me. It took them a while, but they've been responsive, and I really actually would encourage people. You actually can't get this yet until you get into a clinical trial. So, yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and hope you learned something. Talk to you later.